Sage Wanderer here, coming at you from my shotgun shack in the Texas Outback. I'm going to make this video short and sweet because a 1-minute video takes 1 hour to upload, and a 20-minute video takes 20 minutes to upload when you're living on the fringe of 4G. So, straight to the point. The video I made, the angry video I made, was both cathartic and there was a purpose behind it. I am tired of my channel being taken over by people who deny reality. I'm tired of my channel being taken over by racists and anti-Semitics. And I've had a real problem with this in live streams being a real issue. There's a lot of trolls and people who don't like me who are on my channel. People who pretend to like me, but they only like me if I agree with them. And so have become increasingly exhausted by deleting comments and dealing with people who are combative with me on my channel. And so, you might call that censorship, but this is a private club. If you want to speak, YouTube is open to you. You can start your own YouTube channel. You don't get to use mine for your own agenda. So if there's a topic I feel strongly about, I give people the chance to back off from it. And if they double down on it, you're out of here. And I invite them to unsubscribe, and many of them do by the hundreds. And this is not the first time I've made a video like this. And I would rather have 10 subscribers who like me, who are behind what I do, and who are on the same page, and who are open-minded enough not to deny reality when it's facing them, looking them right in the face. Okay, that we'll call that last video an IQ test, and so I got rid of a lot of the stupid people who believe everything they hear. Okay, and someone accused me of that. But I have dug deeper than NBC Nightly News, and I have seen the real video channels of people in every country in many languages crying over their dead family members from COVID-19, widows crying over their dead husbands because this virus kills men more than it kills women. I have seen people that are. Here's the reality of this virus. It's a bioweapon, and it is race specific. If you have blue eyes or green eyes, this virus will make you sick, and it probably won't kill you unless you're really, really old. In fact, you may not even get it when you're exposed to it. Case in point, a mixed marriage. A white man with red hair and green eyes, who's married to a black woman, sleeping in the same bed with her. She gets the virus and dies in bed next to him, and he doesn't even get it. Okay? So you have to take into account that this is a common thread, and it's finally starting to come out now that this is a race-specific. Now, they're saying it's because more black people are overweight and have diabetes. I think that's a cop-out and a cover-up. It's killing dark-haired people because that's what it does. Even the numbers coming out of New York when they say that I think 24% of white people are dying from this when they're 27% of the population. Well, the problem is they're putting all of the brown-haired, brown-eyed Italian people in New York into the same category as white people. And the bottom line is this thing is killing people. It's killing Italians. It's killing African Americans. It's killing Hispanics. If you have type O blood, then you're probably not going to get it. I have type O negative blood. If you have type A blood, this virus, and this is science here, go find it. It's being suppressed, but you can find it in multiple studies, that people who have type A blood have the type A antigen in their bloodstream. And this virus mimics the type A antigen. So the natural defenses against the virus are muted. They're fooled. They think, oh, that's just the type A antigen. I can ignore it, and the virus is allowed to replicate. People with type O blood don't have any antigens in their blood, so it sees the antigens, that sees the invading virus, and sees it for what it is, and it goes on the attack and kills it rather quickly. In some cases, prevents you from getting it at all. But know this: people are dying. I know people that have died from this. It does kill everyone who's old and sick and weak. Well, not everyone. I see, people with blonde hair, it's gray by then, but old people, 87, 90-year-olds, being wheeled out of hospitals, under cheers because they beat the virus. But I don't see any African Americans of that age and group beating the virus. So it's definitely race specific, and it is real. Now, is it being used by the New World Order, by the deep state, to violate our freedoms and to exhibit control over the populace? Absolutely. These power-hungry cops who are writing people tickets on deserted beaches for paddleboarding ought to be fired, if you ask me. And this authoritative response is ridiculous. And the only reason that I'm not actively combating it is the fact that I agree that we need to stay at home right now because this bioweapon is real and it's killing people. And we can learn from the past. The 1918 pandemic was very much like what we're seeing now. And people say, no, it's not, Sage. It killed so many people. Okay, you're right. When it was fully said and done, it had. But not by March of the first year, not by April or May of the first year. Just like this virus, the pandemic flared up a little bit in the spring, just to die back in the summer and come back in the fall and winter. And it was the fall and winter of 2018 when most people died from this, which means we have a very dark future event yet to overcome. So I'm complying with the social distancing, and I'm not leaving the ranch because, A, if I'm wrong about the race specificity of it, then I could get this and it might kill me. But also, I think I might already have had it because I came back from Virginia on January 20th. By the 25th, I was sick with something that very much looks like COVID, and it took me more than 3 weeks to get over it. And I often laugh that they killed me in Richmond, Virginia. I just hadn't died yet. But eventually I got over it. So maybe I'm still a carrier. Maybe me staying home on the Shotgun Shack ranch here and eating top ramen and planting a garden is preventing me from passing this to somebody who's more likely to die from it. Because redheaded, green-eyed, type O blood people are not really dying from this unless they're really old and really sick already. So this is not just the flu. If you believe that malarkey, you're probably just in denial. I invite you to unsubscribe. I'm sure I will lose many subscribers, but even now, and I personally have blocked. It's just blocking their ability to comment. But I blocked 100 or more people today just for making statements like this is a hoax, nobody's dying, and not offering us any proof of it, or offering proof that is bogus, and I know it's bogus. Okay. Now I'm just muting you. You'll just never get a chance to ever comment on my channel again. And I'm doing that in lieu of just shutting down comments in general on these videos and on my statements, because I really do have a core group of people that love me and I love them back. People get mad because I yelled at the camera, and I think to those people I would say, you don't know me very well. I yell at the camera all the time. You just don't like it because this time you didn't agree with what I was yelling about. And that's on you. So go ahead and unsubscribe. Good riddance. And to those people who say, well, we sent you gifts and helped you, and now you're turning on us. Well, if my approval of your opinion or your approval of my opinion was the basis for you giving me the gift, it really wasn't a gift after all. It was a bribe now, wasn't it? And I don't take bribes. So this is Agenda 21. Agenda 21 didn't get moved to 2030. If I was going to break into your house, I would tell you I'm going to break into your house in 2 weeks, and then I would break into your house tomorrow when you weren't expecting it. So Agenda 21 is right on schedule. 2021 will see a huge depopulation from this event, as well as much as I don't like to admit it, we're probably going to have a civil war over this. I don't see patriots and gun owners staying home from work any longer, especially once the threat passes. And these intrusions on our constitutional rights are not going to be taken lightly by people who have the power to do something about it. So the fight will soon be on, and that's just going to make the food situation worse. I was right when I told you to go buy food. If you listen to me, you haven't had to go to the grocery store, and you got plenty of food at home. I told you to plant, If you listen to me, then you got your seeds before they started outlawing the purchasing of seeds in states all around our country. There's been 3 or 4 I know of for sure, and also towns and communities where the leadership is banning the purchase of seeds and gardening tools, and that's because they're in on it. They want to kill as many people with this virus. That's why they're lying to you and telling you that no people are dying, that it's not real, and that those conspiracy channels are shills. And they're there to get you to go into town without a mask, don't wash your hands, and let's all just get together, take our shirts off, and play sand volleyball on the beach. Because they want you to die from this virus. They want you to pass it to your elderly family members, and they want them to die from this virus. And then they're taking away your ability to plant food because they want to control the food supply and kill as many people as possible. This is Agenda 21. And so I'm sorry I had to come out swinging, but I just had enough of the liars getting people killed by telling them this isn't a real virus. Are they lying to us? Yeah, they are. They always have, and they always will, and they still are. And they're doing it again. But what's not a lie are the multitude of crying people who are mourning their very real dead relatives who would not have been dead had they not released this bioweapon on the world. So stop saying it isn't happening. Shame on you. God's going to hold you accountable, because that's very, very insensitive to the people who have dead family members. So I hope that you will survive what is coming, but most of us will not, because that is what Agenda 21 is about. And our only choice is to fight. The problem is civil war just makes things worse when it comes to the death rate of not just the combatants, but the people whose lives are disrupted, and the food chain disruptions that are coming, not just from this virus, but from the reaction of the government and the counter reaction by the people, which is coming. So this is how I feel about the virus. This is what I think is behind it. If I offended you in my past video, I hope you understand it was necessary, because I'm tired of constantly having to police my comment section from people who are clearly hoping you get the virus and die, and they're willing to lie and laugh behind your back at you. So be careful. I hate to sound like everybody else, but do more than wash your hands. Remember the old saying when we were kids, I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Remember that? Well, that comes from the 1918 pandemic, when we realized that the only way to not get it was to not get within 10 foot of somebody. So for the foreseeable future, I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole, and you shouldn't touch anybody else with a 10-foot pole either. So that's the reality as I see it. Feel free to disagree, but you better offer some proof, or you're going to lose your opportunity to speak on this channel. God save our republic.